Hello students. Yesterday we have discussed and revised the whole of the topic again through the questions and that are asked in your examination and that are important also. So mostly long answer questions I have just taken for 2 days and we have discussed all topics there. Now let's see on this chapter the numerical problem and also the conceptual problem, graphical problem that is asked here. So as I have the paper of 2015, so let's start it from here. So in case of 2015 first question that we have question number, I think that is 6. So in this question we have the equivalent wavelength of a moving electron has the same value that of a photon of energy 6 into 10 power minus 17 joule. Then calculate the momentum of the electron. So here one condition is given to us, that is the wavelength of any moving electron that have, suppose that energy of electron if you have to calculate, then that will be equal to h nu, or in another way you can write hc by lambda here. And also it is written that this energy or this wavelength that is occupying this energy, it is equal to 6 into 10 to the power minus 17 joule. So in question it is mentioned means the equivalent wavelength of moving electron that is possessing energy. That energy is obviously you can write it by the de Broglie equation, that is Sc by lambda, and this energy is given that is equal to energy of photon, that is this. Clear? Now we have to calculate what will be the momentum of electron here. So as we know that momentum of any electron or matter particle using de Broglie hypothesis that is given by lambda is equal to h upon p, or p is equal to h by lambda. So you can write here p is equal to h by lambda. So as h upon lambda that we are seeing here, so it means that in place of h upon lambda we can write here p. See, this is equal to 6 into 10 power minus 17, or we can calculate the momentum of electron from here, that is 6 into 10 to the power minus 17 divided by this c, and if you will just put the value of c, so this will be finally obtained 2 into 10 to the power minus 25 is meter per second. So this is our final answer. So by using the de Broglie hypothesis, some of the numerical problems you can easily calculate. This is 2 marks numerical problem asked in 2015. Next question that we have, just a second students. So next question, it is asked a number of times and we have discussed it already, but still just let me read it. How does one explain using de Broglie hypothesis Bohr's second postulate of quantization of orbital angular momentum? So as yesterday we have discussed this from the both way, like number of times this question is asked, I think every year, because this is, we can prove Bohr's second postulate by using de Broglie concept of stationary orbit, and also we can prove de Broglie hypothesis using Bohr concept of second postulate or Bohr's second postulate for the orbital angular momentum. Clear? So that we have discussed, so there is no need to discuss it again. Next question we have number of questions are asked from this chapter. Next it is given, define the term intensity of radiation in terms of photon picture of light. So here student, one more thing, this is conceptual problem, this is very important section. As in the case of wave theory, the intensity of radiation is related to energy of the radiation, but in photon picture, energy of radiation is related to frequency of radiation, or simple you can say that whenever source will change, frequency will change, that time energy will change. It will not be dependent on the intensity or amplitude of the wave. So in case of photon picture, where we are taking light as a particle, light is made up of number of photons. So intensity of radiation, that is directly proportional to the number of photons contained in that light wave. So greater the intensity, greater number of photons will be in light beam. So simple, in case of photon picture, you have to remind it always what is the difference between our wave concept and particle concept, where is the difference in our assumptions in both of the phenomena, and which one is right. So photon picture concept is right, but still whenever we were talking about interference diffraction, then in that case we haven't needed such types of energy transfer problem. So that's why there we have taken intensity as the energy, but still our concept was proved, because that concept is depending on the wave concept, so we can prove it. But still, whenever we are talking about the quantum optics, then we cannot prove it. So here answer of this question is very easy. Intensity of radiation is proportional to the number of photons contained in it. Clear? Next question we have, two monochromatic beams, one red and one other blue, have the same intensity. So here one condition is given. First let's write it. So our condition is two beams that have one is red and second one is blue. They both have the same intensity. Then we have two cases and we have to calculate in which case first the number of photons per unit area per second is larger. So as number of photons per unit area per second we have to calculate here, then you know that still I just told you number of photons are directly proportional to the intensity of radiation. So obviously if intensity of both colored light that is constant, that is same, then number of photons they will contain, that will same also, because intensity is directly proportional to the number of photons. So in this case number of photons in both cases obviously equal. Then in this obviously the number of photons per unit area per second, that will also be same for both of the lights, that will not different. So some types of cases, confusing cases can be asked, and you will be confused then in which case it will be larger, but still there is no concept here, only you have to understand the basic concept for the solution here. Second thing, that the maximum kinetic energy of photoelectron is more. Justify your answer. So here second case we have it is asked that in which case the maximum kinetic energy of the photoelectron is more. So as you know that the maximum kinetic energy is depending on frequency of radiation. So here it is condition that is given, the intensity of radiation is constant, but frequency of radiation will change whenever we are taking different sources, different colored light, you know that. And in the case of white light spectrum, obviously you know that the frequency of red colored light that is smaller than frequency of blue colored light. So if frequency of red colored light is smaller than this, and also a relationship between kinetic energy, maximum kinetic energy and frequency, you know that this is directly proportional to the frequency. Greater will be the frequency, greater will be the maximum kinetic energy of refracted photoelectron. So it means that the kinetic energy or maximum kinetic energy for red color, that will be less than maximum kinetic energy for blue color. Clear? So these two questions that we have discussed, that is asked in 3 marks in 2010, as there we are talking about that paper. And I think the questions are now clear, and you can see here the questions are very conceptual. Here if concept is not clear, then you will not be able to solve it. Next paper 2015, these all questions are asked. In 2016 again number of questions are asked here also. So first question is asked, it is also this question is important. It is asked number of times. 3 times it is asked in 2019, 2013 and 2016. So let's discuss this question also. So in this question it is given, plot a graph showing variation of de Broglie wavelength lambda versus 1 upon root V, where V is accelerating potential for two particles A and B carrying same charge, means EA is equal to EB. Okay? Just always I am saying you students just write the data. After that you will be able to solve anything. You will be able to understand which of the formula you have to apply there. So that is very easy way to solve the numerical. First of all, always summarize the data that is given. Next it is given that carrying the same charge but of masses m1 and m2, means the masses of them are different, and if A has mass m1, B has mass m2, and a condition is given m1 is greater than m2 here. So which one of the two represent a particle of smaller mass and y? So let's see, first of all, actually question is not particle of a smaller wavelength should be here. So let's see, as we know that de Broglie wavelength has so many forms, we have discussed already in classes. So I think there is no need to discuss it again, but you know that if you will just represent lambda in terms of accelerating potential, so this is given by 2m EB. This is the equation that is relating the accelerating potential to the de Broglie wavelength. So let's just write it for first one. Lambda A, this is given by h upon 2 m1 EA, as EA and EB are same, but you can write it into B. Clear? And also for B you can write it, this is equal to 2m2 EB, or in place of EB you can write EA also here, and this is BB. Clear? But here also I think potential is same, it is given. So if potential is given V here, you can write it like this. So as in this case, if we will calculate the wavelength of the both of the light, then in this case as m1 is greater than m2, or you can take here lambda A upon lambda B. So this will be equal to root of m2 divided by m1, as all other quantities are equal. So it means that simple as m1 is greater than m2, or in another way you can write it m2 upon m1, this is less than 1. So as this is less than 1, then its root will be also less than 1. Then it means that lambda A is less than lambda B. So first of all, our second question in this way, that is solved. Which of the two represents a particle of a smaller wavelength and why? So this wavelength, A particle represent the smaller wavelength. Reason, you know that we have just described the reason. As the mass of the particle is greater, then obviously the wavelength associated with it, that will be smaller. So this is the reason also why we are not, if any of the conceptual problem is asked, why in daily life we are not able to see any type of waves, as we are also matter particle, we are made up of the matter particle. Reason is that as in our daily life we are just interacting, we are seeing only macroscopic bodies, means the bodies of greater mass. So if mass will be greater, then you can see easily the wavelength associated with that will be smaller. So that is smaller wavelength is not easy to detect from our naked eye. So whenever we will use some of the high resolution power instrument, then that time we can observe that wave, but in daily life we cannot observe that wave due to smaller wavelength there. So I think that reason is clear. If it is asked, then you can represent it in this way also. So I think second question is clear. Now let's plot the graph. First question was that we have to plot the graph for it. So as you are seeing from this equation, lambda is directly proportional to 1 upon root V. Clear? And also it is proportional to this term when we will see. So if you will plot the graph, suppose on this we are taking 1 by root V. On this we are taking this lambda. Then a straight line, obviously we are just taking this quantity, then we can represent this whole of the quantity as x. Suppose I am taking it as x. So this is equal to x. Then lambda is directly proportional to x, or you can write it lambda is equal to mx something. Yeah? So this is representing a straight line equation. So obviously it will represent a straight line. So two of the straight line we will get for two of the particle A and B. So as lambda A is less than lambda B, so it means that at greater this value, this will be the lambda A as it has a smaller value, and this one is the lambda A, this one is the lambda B. So at smaller values, lambda B is greater than the lambda A. Clear? So you can plot the graph by using such types of derivation. This question is asked also a number of times, so you have to understand graphical problem. I think that is now clear. Next question, this is asked, let's see, okay. This is asked in 3 marks question in the same paper. As you have seen, 1 mark question, 2 marks question, 3 marks question, 5 marks question, number of questions are asked also from this. And basically, if you will see here, the most of the conceptual problem is asked, but here derivation or numerical is also very important. So let's discuss that also. Here one question is write 3 characteristic feature of photoelectric effect which cannot be explained on the basis of wave theory of light, but can be explained only using Einstein equation. So here this is also a conceptual problem. As we have discussed Einstein's photoelectric equation, and it's with the help of that, how can we explain law of photoelectric emission? So here we have to mention those features which we cannot explain by using wave concept, but we can explain by using Huygens principle, Einstein's equation. So let's see it again, as we have discussed already, but let's see it again. So as we know that the Einstein's equation, that is the maximum kinetic energy, that is equal to h mu minus mu 0, this is equal to E 0. Okay? So first feature that wave theory is failed to explain, that is the number of photons is number of ejected photoelectron from the metal is directly proportional to the intensity of radiation. As in the case of wave concept, number of electron ejected, that is directly proportional to the frequency of radiation. Means they have seen the case, means when greater will be the frequency, greater will be the number of electrons ejected, and we know that already with the experimental result this is not true. Number of photons is not proportional to the frequency, it is proportional to the intensity of radiation, and we can prove it easily from here. Also, as Planck's theory and that Einstein has used, that tells us that greater will be the intensity, greater will be the number of photons, and greater will be the number of photons than using Einstein's theory. Obviously, when a photon is incident on the metal surface, it transfers whole of its energy. Due to that, electron is free from the surface. So means greater photon will incident on the metal surface, greater number of electrons will be ejected from there. So this is the reason. Simple. Number of photons are directly proportional to the number of electrons ejected, and number of photons, you know, that directly proportional to the intensity of radiation. So this feature can be easily solved by using Einstein's theory, but not using wave concept. Clear? Second concept, second feature of the photoelectric effect is that the maximum kinetic energy of ejected photoelectron, that is depending on the frequency of radiation. Means greater will be the energy of radiation, greater will be the kinetic energy. But we know that in case of wave optics, energy of the radiation that is related to the intensity of the radiation. Means there we have just taken greater will be the intensity, greater will be the amplitude, greater will be the energy of the radiation. So it means that with increase in or decrease, with change in actually intensity, we can obtain the different kinetic energy of ejected photoelectrons by using that concept. But we know that by using Einstein's equation, maximum kinetic energy is depending on frequency, and this is also the experimental evidence that the maximum kinetic energy is directly proportional to the frequency of radiation, and that can be easily proved by Einstein's equation. So Einstein's equation is able to prove that, but wave theory is not. Two features we have discussed. Third feature, as law of photoelectric emission, that tells us that there is no time lag in the incidence of radiation and in the emission of electron. But from the wave concept, as we know that whenever wave is incident on any metallic surface, then wave is distributed uniformly throughout the surface. Then if there will be uniform distribution throughout the surface, then all the electrons that are revolving in different orbits, they will take some of the time to receive that amount of energy. And also energy that is uncertain, means how much energy one electron has to take, this is not certain in that case. So amidst equally all of the electrons will get energy. So if even outer electron will get same energy, inner electron will get same energy. Monochromatic light of frequency 6 into 10 to the power 14 Hertz is produced by a laser. So the power emitted is 2 into 10 power minus 3 watt. So we have to calculate first energy of photon in the light beam and number of photons emitted on an average by the source here. So this question is little complicated. Let's see that. So as it is given, we have the frequency of radiation, that is 6 into 10 to the power 14 here, and the power emitted, that is given. So this is, suppose P is the power here. So this is 2 into 10 to the power minus 3 watt. So first we have to calculate what will be the energy of the photon in the light beam, means energy we have to calculate, and second thing we have to calculate number of photoelectrons ejected from the surface. So simply to solve the first problem, that is we have to calculate energy of the photon. Then you know that using Planck's law, energy of the photon, that is denoted by E is equal to h nu. Then obviously one photon, energy of one photon we have to calculate in this question first of all. So as energy that is equal to h is 6.63 into 10 to the power minus 34 into 6 into 10 to the power 14. So as frequency is given, this is given, you can solve it. After solution, its value is obtained. Nearly this is equal to 10 power minus 20 joule. So this is the energy of one photon contained in that light beam. Second question, we have to calculate the number of photons per second. Average number of photons means number of photons per second emitted. We have to calculate it from the source. So as you know that power is equal to energy per unit time. Clear? And energy of, suppose that in the light beam we have n number of photons. So if one photon has the energy h nu, then n photon has the energy h nh nu. This is by t. So here we have to calculate n by t. So let's take n by t here. This will be equal to t upon h nu. as power is given to us, that is equal to 2 into 10 to the power minus 3, and assume we have just calculated this is 39.78 into 10 to the power minus 20. And if you will solve it, then it will provide us the average number of photons emitted per second, that is equal to 0.050 into 10 to the power 70. Clear? So this is our answer here. So this question is asked in 3 marks question. So just using simple conceptual things, simple problems, you can explain it, such types of things. So let's just solve rest of the problems in next class. I think students, you are just studying already very well, and also we have just discussed all the topics again and again. We have revised it number of times. So till today, I think you are just prepared for everything for your board examination. So if these questions are clear, then let's take rest of the question in next class. So let's just end it here today. Thank you, students.